All right, everybody, welcome in. This is Real Talk with Spoon and Puddin, episode 9. I'll be the one and only Big Spoon.
That'd be the pudding and there'd be the red.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
All right.
You're drinking some red liquid tonight.
I got my red Solo cup.
Oh, he's got some red. Which one is that?
Rum.
Okay. Nothing wrong with that.
All right. The primary purpose of this podcast is to educate and share our thoughts and opinions. When we have proof and evidence on a topic, it will be brought forth. This podcast does not constitute advice or services to anyone. Spoon and Puddin do not accept any responsibility or liability for our guests or anyone's comments or actions based on the material we've talked about on this podcast.
Watch what you say, Red.
This podcast is private and non-commercial use, and everyone should ascertain that this information we provide is correct and verified at all times. There should be no adding to, editing, or reproduction of this podcast without prior written permission from Spoon and Puddin. Reach us at realtalkwithspoonandpuddin@gmail.com. All right, with saying that with the disclaimer, that doesn't mean you can't share it. We're all for y'all telling everybody and sharing it on Facebook or YouTube or all that. We're just talking about reproduction or stealing.
Taking things out of context, editing down, and
exactly.
Yeah, people do that a lot. All right. So, what was you wanting to hit on today, Spoon? You said you had 2 topics.
Well, I got a few topics, and I'm gonna tie this all together, and then we're gonna talk about it, and then we can move on to something else. Okay. Let me make sure I got all my volumes down.
Volumes.
Yeah, if I try to pull it up and make sure it's not give us any background noise. So how y'all doing today?
I'm planting.
Oh,
You know that.
what you planting?
Apple trees, peach tree, plum tree, grapes, raspberries.
Oh, that's right. Your
blueberries.
orchard.
Yes, we got a lot to plant.
Your orchard and
We ain't done. We got more to finish.
hey, Eric, I figured he's planting tulips.
Mm-hmm. I love tulips around.
Tulips. All right. Well, I'm gonna start. Let's start. I'm gonna hit a little bit on the.
Sold a lot of stuff. I see.
I'm gonna hit a little bit on that stop we talked about with Sergeant Hope a couple weeks ago.
Oh no.
And then I'm gonna move to. Well, it's all gonna tie together. It's gonna tie together from the police to the city council and mayor to the to the chamber. As y'all all well know, we talked about this 2 weeks ago when the off-duty officer interfered. Basically, he had 3 felonies because he used his personal phone off duty to pull up the ECC system to find out that his mistress was being pulled over for a DUI. Second, he interfered with the criminal investigation and pulled her from the DUI, right?
right.
And then 3, they lied and tried to cover it up and didn't tell the chief. The chief only found out because of rumblings. All right, so we're going to go back. This happened. After this happened, I'm not going to say his wife's name. She's Sergeant Hope's ex-wife now. Turn that down.
Mm-hmm.
But his ex-wife was a police officer of the city of Gallatin. I'm sure y'all have all seen the meme where the little girl standing outside and the house is on fire, and she says, "I thought I'd seen a spider." Y'all have all seen that, right? Are y'all paying attention to me?
No, you.
What?
Have y'all seen the meme? Like the meme goes around Facebook. It's the little girl that's outside.
The house burning down. Yes. I'm very familiar with it.
All right. So his wife, in the middle of them going to a divorce, his ex-wife now, she sent that meme through Facebook Messenger to one of her friends and said, "Hey, this is just for me and you. Don't be sharing it with anybody." Well, evidently the friend wasn't a friend because it got back to the Portland police chief. And this was after the whole ordeal with Sergeant Hope and the DUI. So they, instead of going through the chain of command and stuff, they made a personal call to the chief of the Gallatin police, which is Chief Bandy at the time. I don't know if he's still the chief or not. I hadn't done that. And showed him and told him and talked to him. And I got her affidavit and I got the social media policy. And it says the meme was shared in a private Facebook message. And they said that this action, I do not believe this action constitutes a violation of the GO 100.17, which is their social media policy. But yet they made a big deal about it and got her reprimanded and suspended, I believe. I got it here. I'm not going to post it because it says her name, and to me, she's an innocent victim.
I'm supposed to redact that with a Sharpie.
Yeah, well, I haven't got it here to show it. I got it where I could put it up on the screen or by my phone, but I'm not going to do that. But I'm just tying all this together because he was okay with abusing his power and committing 3 felonies. And if anybody watched, I was at the council meeting last Monday and made my statement of what I wanted to make on certain items. And
yeah, and you
and
texted me later. I thought you could have just made that in 3 seconds.
But anyway, it wasn't personal, but someone like our police chief in Portland, and it seems like mayor and some of the councilmen, they took it as a personal attack when it wasn't.
Well, if they're public figures and they're current, you shout them, call them by name.
So if they want to feel like this is a personal attack, I'm going to do my due diligence as a independent journalist and now a podcaster to add to it. And I'm going to pull out every little breadcrumb I can to show the people, and the people can decide for themselves. They may think I'm an asshole. That's fine. A lot of people think I'm an asshole. Take a number, take a name. Doesn't matter.
These 2 guys right here think you're an asshole.
That's right. So that officer committing at least 3 felonies on that one, and that's not his first time being in trouble. And I have open records requests with the city. Of course, they're going to slow roll this information. I also have one audio recording that I'm not going to play of that traffic stop when they're asking Miss Daughtry some questions.
We need to listen to it first.
Well, I've listened to it, but there's 2 recordings. I've only got one. So until I get both recordings so we can be fully transparent, we're not going to play it. Okay. But I'm just letting the people know that I have one of the recordings, right? And this recording has the officers asking some questions, and he's in the middle of the field sobriety test. Okay. So until we get the second recording, we're not going to play that. But
so now everyone needs to remember this case. If you're pulled over and they want to give a field sobriety test, you can quote this case and say, doesn't the Portland PD just let people go? Because that's the precedent they set.
And I want to make a point to this. If I got my red Solo cup and I got my wine, so after we're done with this podcast, I hope Sergeant Hope and his crew is on.
A beerman and a liquor boy.
So I'm going to get out and drive around town with my headlights off and see if I get out of the DUI, like, if you work for the chamber.
Yeah. That isn't to product name. That isn't Arbor Mist that you're drinking, is it?
Yeah, it is. Hey, it's cheap, buddy. It's cheap. All right, we tie all that together, okay?
You know why? Put a little rubbing alcohol in there to boost the percentage.
Let's see. Yeah. And I've got a $35 bottle of rum in front of me.
Hey. Drink. All right, we tie all that together.
Grab my Russian standard.
Let me go back to.
You're showing those 14.
Right.
3/4 of 14.
And I'm going to move that to the uproar of the Mr. Dillard Alderman thing.
Okay.
Wait, I got something to show you. You hadn't seen it yet. And how
I feel like I need the wrap it up box, wrap it up.
And how the council and the mayor has wanted to throw gauntlets at his misuse of a word, derogatory or not. It's a misuse of a word. So I'm gonna put this up on the screen.
I tell you, Thomas folks, let's move forward.
We are going to move forward, but I'm going to show you something that I bet they didn't even want to bring up, and that's fine if they didn't want to bring it up.
Maybe you should get the transcript. Maybe you should get the transcripts of that conversation.
I don't really care about that much, but I have an overlay I'm going to put up here for y'all to see. And this is in our charter for the city. And page 8, when they're describing our boundaries, one of our boundaries is Nego Rippy's property. Do you see that? Nego Rippy's property. That's in our charter. That's in our charter in 2022, people. This is not me making stuff. And I went to the city's website and I pulled up the charter. I went to the Sumner County Election Commission. I pulled up the website or the charter on that website. So this is not me making things up. This is me bringing this to light. Your council, especially Alderman Woodall, who was, very offended, and your Alderwoman Thompson, who was greatly offended and did not accept his apology for him misuse of a word, they're okay with your charter of your city in 2022 using the word Negro in it. Now, I don't know about you guys, but any reference to that word that they are trying to get rid of is the same to me. Is it the same to you? Now, I'm for freedom of speech without hate towards another person. So I'm asking you guys, if he uses a word to his neighbor, or it's in our charter for the city at this day and age, but they're up in arms about how he uses the word, but they're fine about how it's used in our charter. It's kind of like a double-edged sword, right?
I don't believe they're the same as far as context. I don't know if anybody wants to be.
I understand the same contract.
I understand.
That's what I'm saying.
Taken out of context, but
what I'm saying is, do you think anybody in our city wants to be called the Negro word either? Why can't it be our brother Rippy?
They call us the Caucasians. Slanderous word, cracker.
No. I'm gonna pull up.
They probably wouldn't. Yes, I know they probably wouldn't hyphenate one of us as Cracker Charlie or Caucasian Charlie or whatever.
Because when they get to the point where it says a white man or Caucasian, because we're not white. I'm Cherokee and German and Polish. We've already had that discussion.
When
it went to Hester's prophecy, it wasn't Caucasian or white man Hester. It was Hester's property. So why are we saying Negro Rippy's property? Why can't it just be Rippy's property? You understand where I'm going with this?
Yeah. Yes. Right. They use a descriptive. What is that? Adjective? An adjective?
They included a clear reference to a skin color.
All right. So why are you so up in arms about one of your fellow aldermen misuse of a word when you have a word in your charter that you shouldn't have in there? That is sometimes in the same way as the word he misused. Yes, he used it in a different context. I understand that. I'm not defending him. I'm just putting those two examples side by side for the people to decide for themselves. All right. Well, we'll talk about that in a minute. We'll move on from that. And tying that, you tie that with your mayor and your police chief and officer. The first thing I hit on to the chamber, because the lady that was pulled over from the chamber. I've got finances for the last 4 years, and this is just what they've given me. So this is from the city now. In 2019, the taxpayers in the city of Portland give the chamber $45,000.
Playing with your flashlight.
Are y'all listening to me?
Yes, sir. The city is giving $45,000
to the chamber. All right, because all I hear is the chamber does great things for the city. Oh, wonderful things. But like we talked about before, it's no different from if I hire you, Eric, to pressure wash my house, or if I hire you, Trey, to cut down my trees, and I pay you for it. All right, this is a business transaction, right?
Hey, do you reckon Trey's good at chopping down wood?
His wife says he's not, but I don't know. All right, 2020, we gave him $29,000. Now, remember, this is in the heart of the COVID era, right? 20 and 21. So in 20, we give them 29,000. In 21, we give them 36,000. And this is just what I pulled out of the context that they give me. This is all coming from Open Records, their finances. And so far in 2022, and we're only in the fourth month, we already have given them $28,000. Now, bear this in mind. This is some of this stuff is the city's paying for things that's going on in the city, like the Strawberry Festival this year. We hadn't had it the past 2 years that I remember. Maybe we had it. I don't know. COVID messed it up at least 1 year. But so far in 2022, we've given 28,000. So if we're going to stay on that cycle, which we probably won't, we're going to be upwards of what? $80,000 for the year this year. Okay. So we can sit and say the chamber does great things for the city. But the last time I checked, the Chamber of Commerce, that's what it was created for. To create commerce and do great things for the city, right?
Yes, sir.
They say they're a nonprofit, which
to
I'm
promote
going
to promote the city.
Yes.
Which
I'm going to request. I'm going to open a request.
Thing. I told you about it this morning. That thing they keep posting and hit Portland with the
I seen it on the website. Yeah.
It's not really nothing about building anything like commerce. It was more about like the existing parks, and I think the existing parks, whatever, they're fine. You know, I mean, they need better pool. I like, they asked something. It was real boring, going through it.
Well, I didn't get that turned down.
Picture.
Say what?
Talking to Red.
Anyway, but I'm going to open record requests. The chamber's finances also. They should be public record, but who knows if they'll allow it. Come on, Eric. But anyway, I just wanted to hit on tying all that stuff together. You got.
I know he's got a flashlight.
Here's the other thing I was going to get on. The mayor, the sitting mayor, he had the ability and the power to hire or fire any city employee that's below the council. So he didn't take it upon himself when that officer did what he did in that traffic stop. All right. And he didn't after the investigation. And now he's promoting this, I think it's Chris Taylor, this assistant Metro police chief who's running for Sumner County. Now he's backing and supporting this assistant chief in Metro who's already been found guilty and the taxpayer had to pay out $295,000 in one settlement. Now he's under investigation into another case where he's abused his power and abused his power to subordinates underneath him. And if you're a true great police officer or chief or assistant chief, why would you give up your $188,000 job to run for an elected office of $130,000 to where in 4 years you're out of a job? Right now, you were appointed in that position. You were already an officer, but you were appointed. You could go back down and still make more money than what you would as Sumner County mayor. So you put all that together. The reason he is because he knows what the outcome of that investigation is going to be. He's trying to jump from, hey, instead of being Allison here, I'm going to jump over here and be the Sumner County mayor. I'm tying all this together because your council and your mayor and your police chief are okay with their officers commit felonies, and they didn't want to set an example that we don't want this corruption in the city. And then you have your mayor turn around and backing another officer who's assistant chief in another county to run for mayor in his county because apparently our mayor thinks his rerun for mayor is going to be successful. So he's backing another corrupt officer, and it's already been proven now. Y'all can pull this information up. Just go to the websites, okay?
Right.
So I'm throwing all that together. I'm throwing all that together to let you know the chamber and the city work together. The police department, chamber, and city work together. The mayor and council all work together with them. And they're trying to cover up what they don't want to come out. And I understand this one traffic stop. They're trying to move past that, right? I understand that. But if you want to move past that, you have to come out and be totally transparent with the people and say, look, we screwed up. We should have done this, but we didn't. From now on, this is what our guidelines are going to be. He got by with it on this, but nobody else is going to get by with it. And if we find him guilty of anything else, we're going to take care of that. But they don't do that. They try to cover their tracks, try to cover it up and make out like the citizens, i.e. Mr. Dillard, because he's an alderman, which me and Trey both know Mr. Dillard. He could be his own worst enemy, and I've told him that. But the other citizens, instead of being 100% transparent and telling them, hey, we're not perfect. We're not trying to be corrupt. We screwed up. But going forward, this is going to be our outlook. This is going to be our consequences, and we're not going to allow that to go on in our city. They haven't done that. All they've done is try to silence people and cover up. All right. So, Eric, you've come from a small town, I remember. Trey's come from a small town. As your mayor.
What?
Huh?
He's
What?
from Fort Lauderdale.
Okay, never mind. Red, you're out.
I live
You live in a
currently.
small
I
town.
live currently in a small town.
You live in a small town currently. So living in a small town currently, me and Puddin are both from small towns. If your mayor did not set an example for the corruption of certain officers, because I'm not going to say the whole police force. I'm not going to say that because we have good officers in this town. If they don't set an example there, and then he turns around and he backs a corrupt officer from another county to run for mayor in his district. Because if he stays sitting mayor and he's this guy gets county mayor, they're going to work hand in hand. Do y'all see the ties and dividend here?
Well, we've seen it. We've talked about it. So let's get into gear number 2. Did you have an announcement or no? Or are you still pondering?
I'm still pondering, deliberating. I'm gonna put this out. Hey, let's put this out to the people. Everybody watching.
We're gonna let you have the. This is Spoon soapbox time tonight.
Spoon soapbox. No, I want to ask the people that's watching to give some feedback. I'm not a politician. I do not want to be a politician. I'm never going to be a politician. Okay, but I've thought about running for council, and here lately, I've seriously thought about running for mayor. Not because I want the job, and not because I'm ever going to be a politician, but because I want better for our city. So y'all give some input back to us or to me what you think. You may think this bald-headed fat bastard never shuts up. I don't want to be our mayor. That's fine. That's what I want to hear. Everybody has freedom of speech. Everybody has freedom of opinion, and I want those opinions. Both of y'all kiss my ass. But before
acre?
June 20th is when you pick up your petition.
You want us on the back 9 to kissing, or you want us to go on the front 40?
I want you on the front 40 and the back 9, so you get all the sweat at the end.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you call that little thing in the front? The mule. 40 acres of mule.
Oh my gosh, this is going to be a fun podcast. I can already tell.
Okay. Yeah. Well.
But anyway, I'm being serious now. June 20th is when you pick the petition up to get your 25 signatures to get on the ballot to run for mayor, or I assume the council also. I've already put in filed my papers to start raising money for a campaign if I wanted to. I'm not asking people for money. I'm not here for people's money. I just done that just in case that I decided to run and somebody walked up and said, "Hey, I want to donate $100 to your campaign." Then I can tell them, "Hey, if you want to buy signage and put it up, you do that. I'm covered." They can't come after me and say I took somebody's money and didn't tell them that I did. Okay. Scott Harmon, you're exactly right. It's a click. It's all a click. So with that being said, what are y'all's
I already told you. I already told you. I thought we already come up with your slogan too and everything.
No, I'm talking about on the things I just brought up and we discussed.
Well, it sounds like it's honestly, it sounds as though it is an abuse of power, for sure. And it just, I don't think it's just a small town thing. I think you could find this same exact stuff even in larger cities. As a matter of fact, I would probably say it's much more prominent in larger cities because the police forces there are actually a lot more larger, and they'll have a harder time. So, I think you could actually end up with factions within certain departments that are, acting in their own interest.
I'd say there's more corruption, but it's probably much further hidden. Not as easy to access in the bigger towns. More red tape and more diplomacy.
Well, let me address this. Christy Bland Simpson just said they moved to Portland. They've been trying to get assistance with the issue in the neighborhood, and it's a joke trying to. And I feel your pain. She said, makes you want to move out. We need people who are going to work hard for the people. And let me add to this, if I was to run, I already said I'm not a politician. I'm never going to be. I want the betterment for the betterment of our city and what the people want. All right. I'm not there for the money because I'm a truck driver. I make more than the mayor does anyway.
If you
And,
wanted to,
it-
you're yeah. Harmon will
right
back
now-
me up on that. You're lazy.
Right.
You don't want to go
Yeah.
work.
hey, I got enough work to do outside of my full time. I got three jobs right now. But what I'm getting, yeah, who's
Truck
doing all the
driver,
who's doing all the
father.
research and for the journalist part of not only our podcast but my side? I don't see
Well,
you
you-
doing that.
I-
You show up
I'm
for the
not- oh,
podcast
no,
with your makeup.
Yes,
All right,
I
let me
had to
get
go
let me,
into
let
my
me, let me say what I was
dressing
going to say, and then we get back to that. All right,
I'm just a pretty face on this program.
room.
all right. If I
Got
was
good
to run
genes.
for anything, I do not want anything from the people as far as their money, bribes, or anything like that. All right, that's not the type of person I am. I want what the people want and the betterment of our community. Okay, so say what?
Oh, I was nothing. I was gonna.
Okay. So I've been a part of this community for 43 years. That doesn't mean a hill of beans to some people. All right. I grew up here. I went to school here, graduated here. You know, my kids are graduating here. My father graduated here. I would say my grandparents did, but my grandfather only had like a third grade education. So he didn't graduate from here. But anyway, I'm not interested in the politics side. I'm not interested in the lobbyist side. I'm not interested in the bribery and the payoff side. Okay, that I don't want no part of that. You're not going to come and say, "Hey, I'm going to give you money, and I want you to vote this way, or I want you to." That's not going to happen. All right, it's not going to happen. Get that out of your head. Everyone that sits on the council or mayor should be there to represent the people and to vote that way. One, with their conscience and morals, and two, the way the people would want. So when the people show up, I'm gonna give you an example. Here, a couple months back, we had a meeting where somebody come and they wanted to put in some houses in a neighborhood that were less than what the typical houses were in that neighborhood, and they wanted to change. All right. One of the aldermen abstained. It ended up being a 3-3 tie. And you had between 20 and 30 people of this community come and opposed it. So when it got to the 3-3 tie, your mayor, he voted yes. My opinion in that matter, if you got that many people that do not want it and it's never been allowed there before, and you have a 3-3 tie on your council, to me, the mayor should always go with the people. Right? That's my feeling. He should automatically vote no. That's just my opinion. If it's not for the betterment of the community, it wasn't for the betterment of the community. So that's my take. And then since Puddin is over going to sleep because he was a half an hour late, we'll move on.
Hold on. Wait a minute. So I want to let's go back a little bit on that one. The mayor voted yes. He broke the tiebreaker.
Yes, because he could vote in a tiebreaker.
And did he vote yes because it benefited him in any manner besides just being the mayor?
No, I don't know that it benefited him in any manner. But it was the brother to one of the alderwomen that sits on our council. If it had been anybody else, do you think the vote would have went yes, or do you think he might have said, "Hey, let's do more deliberating and bring it back up for a vote in a future meeting," or will you think he would still vote yes? That's what I'm bringing to you. I'm just saying, me.
Right.
I would either voted no, or I would have said, "Hey, we need to deliberate on this more, get more facts and evidence, hear from more people, and then revote." Let's not even vote to begin with.
Now, did any was this an open discussion to the populace besides the vote? Were there any of the populace from the city of Portland there with
yes.
as you say, as a negative?
Yes.
And the mayor was in attendance at this meeting?
Yes, the mayor, he oversees every council
Yeah,
meeting.
the one I watched the other day had like eight or nine people up there.
Well, this meeting they
it
had
was,
probably 30 or 40 total people in it, and probably between 20 and 30 there were just
I
on
mean,
that
people
subject.
behind the desk, the one you
Oh yeah,
went
yeah,
up
yeah,
and.
yeah.
No, I'm saying I think Drew Jennings was there, wasn't he? The guy I talked about last week, the
Well, yeah, well, he's on the board. Yeah, of course he's going to be there.
jack of all trades,
Well,
master of the hats and bank FU and everything.
well, sure.
You know, giving out those wonderful loans because they didn't shop around and ask, some of the national banks or regional banks if they could do better. I mean, you are financing projects backed up by the federal government or a city government that's going to get their money eventually.
Mary,
It's not like they're not going
I
to
don't know what her
pay.
last name is. She says she's running for county commissioner, District 9, self-funded when you change. Well, if I run, it's going to be self-funded also. So I agree with you.
My predicament for running would be currently where I live. I mean, I can get an address in the city if I wanted to be an alderman or try that, but I don't really know. I mean,
But we want to do things the honest way, right? Right.
the what?
I said, but we're going to do things the honest way, right? Right.
Oh yeah, I don't know if I was to win, I wouldn't want to quit my job. I would probably let my wife go in my place and then just, to vote through her and then let her get the money, whatever it is. Even less of a salary. Who cares about the money? It's not about the money. It's about making things better. But these
That's right.
politicians are all about getting maximum amount of money, raising their things. Didn't you say the mayor didn't give himself a raise this year? Isn't that nice? Government can just give themselves raises. Pretty funny, Congress has
I
got
don't
like
personally.
less than 10% approval, but they give themselves raises. It's like what? Usually,
Yeah, they vote.
If you're at Taco Bell and 90% of the people hate you, they fire you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, they voted as a council to give the next sitting mayor. I believe it was a $20,000 raise for the next sitting mayor.
But that's not even. It shouldn't be about the money. It really shouldn't. Like okay, the mayor job, I get that's a full-time job. You'd have to earn something. But like if you were just a part-time alderman or even something on the county
Yeah, they
or
don't
in
make
the
very
state,
much.
as far as I'm concerned, I would probably just prefer to have my wife, vote in my place and then talk to them. We talk all day anyway.
I don't think that's how it works. If you settle on a thing, you have to be
Maybe she
there.
should run. Maybe she should run. I don't know.
That's
Sweetheart, you
between
want to
her.
run for something? But
There's no chicken lady openings on the county box there.
Speaking of Mr. Call Me Late, I was cleaned out the chicken coop and I had, dried out powdered chicken shit from head to toe. I'm sorry if I wanted to take a shower. Excuse me. I was blowing snotty chicken shit out of my nose.
It didn't make you look any better.
Did you use that? Did you use that with planting your trees? Did you use that chicken shit for planting?
That's dinner later.
We put it in I carted it off. No, what the hell, bitch? Anyway, no.
When you have when you get chicken shit, you may
I
make
know
chicken
it's
salad.
I know it's great fertilizer. Yes, I mean I know we took that out and put it in a bucket. I scooped all the hay out, but I was in there with the leaf blower, blowing chicken shit off the floor and scraping it up, and I had chicken shit literally. I had rocks of chicken shit in my socks. I don't know how I got in my socks, but it was in there. I'm sorry I took a shower, Spoon. Excuse me. Excuse me, and I texted you 8 minutes after 8, dick.
I hope she sprayed you out with the garden hose outside.
No, I come in. She was mad at me because I took my shirt off in the bathroom. She's like, look at all this dirt and chicken shit on the bathroom floor. Sorry. I'm sorry. Hey,
Do you know when the 109 extension is supposed to happen, exactly where it's going?
Is that the person that emailed us that one time?
No, I don't think so. I think that's a big hot topic, and I think it's still under deliberation, and probably landowners are pushing back and things like that. So I don't think that's set in stone just yet. But every other Wednesday, you can get on and you can get on the Portland website and try to pull up the agenda for the upcoming Monday meeting, which it will be up. It will be up this coming Wednesday to see if that is on the agenda, so you can show up to the city meeting and you can speak on it or ask questions or at least watch and see if you get your information that you're looking for. Oh, me.
So is that bottle number 2 or bottle number 1?
This is
He's
bottle
on
number
two.
2.
Oh, okay. All right. Arbor Mist.
What's wrong with Harbor Mist?
Cheap tape.
It was like
No,
$3.
no.
It was like $3.71 a bottle. I was like, "Yep, that's the one."
I don't get me wrong. It's nice, but it's if I were to reckon it, it is the Kool-Aid of wine.
Well,
It's not Boone's Farm or
I'm a
Mad Dog.
sissy when it comes to alcohol, so I'll take it.
No,
Right. Well,
I don't like
I
beer.
mean,
hey, I got cheap beer. I mean, I didn't bring I had like 2
You got
beers while
Milwaukee's
we were out
Best?
there working. Oh, no,
Coke
Coors.
45.
Coors. Hey, Coke 45 and 2 zigzags.
Exactly.
That's all we need.
That's what.
When
That's
are they
what a
gonna?
song you need
When are
for
they
music.
gonna? When are they gonna legalize it? Jesus. I've got like 300 shares.
Somebody said
I got-
Jersey legalized it. Did
I
Jersey
don't know.
legalize it for recreational use?
I got 500 shares of one stock company, and pot company, and I got 300 shares of another pot company. Wait for that stuff to blow up, just go boom.
If you think they're going to legalize it fairly, I mean, it's even though Biden, well, that was one of his talking points. You're probably still going to have to wait a while.
I think it's coming through. Did you hear about the Democrat in Florida that's actually challenging the 4473 and because Florida has medical. Did you hear about that? Yeah, it was they're calling her they called her a piece of S Democrat because she's filed a lawsuit against the ATF because on the 4473 it mentions marijuana as an illegal drug. If you check yes, you're not supposed to be able to buy a firearm. However, it's decriminalized in many states and it's medical in almost half the country. And she's in Florida and she's one of their top Democrats down there and she's causing the stink about it. And she's challenging the ATF on that 4473 because basically if you have a medical marijuana card, you technically shouldn't be allowed to have a concealed carry card or, if you pass the background check, you lied because technically you're not allowed to because it's a controlled stump. Okay, there you go. Yeah, let's talk about the stuff that people want to do. As you drink on your $7.99 hobo wine.
Hey, $3.91, buddy.
$3.91. Oh, I don't need to. What was it about the pores, Eric? Huh? What is that?
Oh my God, my poor Hawks.
Poor Hawks.
I didn't know they still had a basketball team.
Apparently, they don't deserve to.
What? Come here.
Lord have mercy. I can't talk for 3 minutes about a Democrat going after Biden and the ATF for making marijuana, trying to legalize marijuana, but this guy can go 30 minutes about what the hell was that?
I was just communicating with you. No, actually, sorry. I had to give Charlie some equal time there on distraction while you were talking. But no, that's actually very interesting. I have not heard about that. So as a states, that's definitely a states' rights issue. So I guess. I mean, the state of Florida doesn't even use the NICS system anyway. They actually use the FDLE for using the Federal Department of Law Florida Department of Law Enforcement. So they don't actually use the NICS system, which goes through the federal system. I mean, I'm sure they probably do something based upon that, but that's definitely a states' rights issue for sure.
I don't know.
Now here, let me do this. Maybe it'll show it this way. Can it show it?
You gotta lower the. You gotta lower the screen. Yeah,
the contrast. Turn down
the light.
Says
Happy 420. Florida's Nikki Fried is suing the Biden admin ATF over 4473 marijuana prohibition. Can you? Let me lower it down more.
Rock on. No, that's I
But
mean,
here's a
as
national
a libertarian, as a libertarian leaning podcast, that is definitely a states' rights thing for sure. Yes, oh yeah, I see it. I love it. So I would definitely, Republican or Democrat, I would definitely support her in that regard. I actually wonder how the Republicans come down on it. I guess were you saying that the Democrats were firing at her?
No. A few months ago, the Republicans were pushing a bill called the acronym was GRAM Act, Graham Act, suspiciously, funnily named, about this same issue. They were trying to push it through the House, not over current legislation or current regulation. It was more about the states who have already decriminalized it or have it medical. They were trying to push a bill through that would exempt that 4473 from those states. So the Republicans were already working on this. But that's why I say, I'm buying up weed stocks because the possibility it could go up. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I would really find that very interesting to know. I know the libertarians that are in Florida are probably definitely behind her because one, they're for legalization. Number two, they
But you're not gonna buy a blunt
freedom.
for $3.91, Mr. Spoon. I hate to break it to you.
Oh my goodness! Why do you have to bring that up?
Well, I'm sorry. Pores.
What, baby?
Right. Well, so I would actually like to know what the Republican reaction is to her lawsuit. Is because I mean almost anything that's given by the opposite party members, they almost knee jerk react, try to go the opposite way.
Well,
And
this is
so
an
I would
internal party fight. That was why I caught news on it last week. That was why I caught it. And as we're sitting here getting drunk and Spoon's over there drinking the cheapest of the cheap, it's not even worth a hobo sticking in his pants and walking out of the store with it.
right.
Arbor Mist.
I think Oak Ridge might actually be the cheapest wine you could buy. Hold on while I peg a cat. Get out of here, damn it!
I go in this way. It'll be better. Try to get it. Got to remember that camera left him. But no, it was interesting. It was an interesting story.
And usually I drink like, was it Barefoot or some of the other ones, but you keep crapping all over Arbor Mist. I don't drink very much. It's cheap. I'm going with it.
Mm-hmm. If you don't drink much, you should splurge.
Why?
Because, I mean, look, I drink these cheap Coors normally because I'm out there gardening or something. Or
is Coors cheap?
Chicken, dusty chicken shit. Yeah, Coors is real cheap.
Gardening. You call what you do gardening?
Yeah, garden.
Yeah, gardening.
You
it's
still
not
gardening? Yeah, gardening or whatever. But no, it's like I said, it's an interesting story. Spoon, don't sit there and tell me you wouldn't want to smoke a fat one. Don't even.
I'm going to use my Fifth Amendment right to stay quiet.
I know Red won't. He's never been intrigued by the idea.
I just don't. I don't have the desire. I don't have the want.
You could use another presidential
Red one's peyote
for your peyote.
Yeah,
well, he's out there where they got peyote. You can go on the Indian res and get that, couldn't you?
Yeah, well, we have just sweat lodges. We even have sweat lodges too. I actually think when I first came out here, there was some legislation trying to ban sweat lodges. I don't know if it passed or not as far as that goes, but it's interesting.
Well, just remember, Spoon, on your mayor, if you run for mayor, Spoon, you didn't inhale. Just take his line.
And I didn't have sex with my mistress either, right?
Well, don't ask your wife.
I thought you married your mistress.
No, I'm talking about like the Bill Clinton. I didn't get a BJ. It wasn't me.
I know. I thought you married your mistress.
Your wife would probably say he did it. Yes.
Hey, Ben's, we're having the Sunday night podcast, and we're having red Solo cups, and we've already hit on some of the important stuff. Let's get away from politics. Let's talk about something that I don't know about in our marriages. Like who else goes through the struggle of when you want to go out to dinner with your spouse and you ask them, hey, what do you want? I don't care, whatever you want. And 42 restaurants later, and in an hour, you still hadn't figured out where you want to go to eat the dinner.
I want whatever you want. Okay, so let's go to Taco Bell. Oh, I don't want Taco Bell. Oh, all right. Well, what do you want? I don't know. I really anything that you want to eat, I'll eat. Okay. How about Chili's? I really don't want to go to Chili's.
Let's go back home and I'll make you a cock meat sandwich. How about that?
Oh my God! Parents, don't let your children watch this.
Hey, you read a disclosure at the beginning, didn't you?
with a side of man sauce.
I didn't say caution. This could be vulgar, very, very vulgar at times. I just want you to know you made that. You made that comment, and we lost half our viewers off one comment.
Oh, come on! It was on some movie line. God, it was from Harold and Kumar.
Harold and Kumar.
Yeah.
Escape Guantanamo Bay.
Yep. That was the funniest part about that was the bottomless. Instead of the topless party, they had the bottomless party.
Yeah.
See, there you go, Mister. I'm going to plead the fifth, and I'm not going to talk about. I'm not going to talk about my wanting to puff pass. Oh boy.
It's puff give, man. Puff give.
And believe me, I although I may not participate or want to participate even. I think you all should have the ability to participate if you desire. We're all having a drink. We're all having a drink. I think 2-3 weeks ago when I was on this episode,
that would have been illegal. Early 19. When was prohibition?
The 20s.
Well, it was the 20s due to the 30s, I think.
Yes.
And they found out this isn't going to work. We're not going to stop this.
Spoon a few weeks ago made the point that that what difference would it make if he went home on Friday evening or whatever started his weekend and decided to roll a joint or stuff his bong with some weed and smoke out, or on Sunday night drink an entire 36 pack or a 30 pack, whatever it is, and then get up the next morning still having sweat, coming out, smelling like a brewery. But you can go into your job and drive down the road in a truck. You should. It's so parochial. It's so backwards. Weed is just something that naturally grows. That's like saying, hey, if you consumed an apple, you can't go out and drive your truck. So even tobacco, it may not always have that immediate high effect, let's say, but I guarantee both of you are smokers. If you went 8 to 10 hours without a cigarette,
I get a good buzz
without a cigarette.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. So,
the first one in the morning after you've been asleep all night, it gives you a little bit of ooh.
Yeah. No, it does.
Eric, you've
no,
can't hear you.
What? Testing.
All right, you're back.
I heard him.
Oh, I couldn't hear.
Right. So I think I've smoked maybe one complete tobacco cigarette in my life. I've had a few puffs here and there as far as that goes. I really didn't notice it. I didn't, I still, I guess with the whole aspect, it just didn't give me a desire as far as that. Now, even like the alcohol, as far as that, having the rum and the Coke and stuff, a lot of times, it doesn't even faze me as far as that goes. I wouldn't want to take a cognitive test to find out. But most of the time when I drink, 80 proof liquor, I don't even feel it. It's just
remember in Portland, just mention Officer Hope's case, and they have to let you go.
That's only if you're driving.
Yeah, well, if you're driving. So I'm saying in Portland, if you're driving, mention Officer Hope and how the commissioner lady got let go. So you have to let me go. Precedent.
Right?
Yeah.
No, I'll remember that when I come into your
Just
town.
remember.
There was another issue I was going to bring up for some of the people that wanted me to and is watching. I don't know if y'all hadn't been watching enough to even know, but the city of Portland and Mitchell have been in discussions and going back and forth because Mitchell in 1999 they paid for, and the city of Portland allowed them to connect their sewer lines to the city of Portland. So the city of Mitchell paid for their own lines and installed their own lines and their own pumps and everything. Okay, their contract ran out 2 or 3 years ago, to the best of my knowledge. The city of Portland has always, until this year or this point, allowed them to have taps when they request them, when they have new homes coming in and everything. So the best of my knowledge, I'm gonna say best of my knowledge, you have to watch all these council meetings and put everything together. The mayor of Mitchellville requested 12 taps from the city. They approved them, just like always. And then he had to come back asking for 25 more because he had 37 total houses going in, not just in the city limits, but in the community of Mitchellville. And they approved those, so he had 37 total. And then they come back, I want to say it's like a month or 6 weeks later, and said, well, yeah, you can have those taps, but they have to be within the city limits. When he's never had those restrictions before, and his sewer line that he bought and paid for in 99 runs out of the city limits, out of the county, all the way to Highway 109, which is in the city limits for Portland. So now they were trying to put restrictions. I've talked to the mayor of Mitchellville, Bobby, a few times. He's a fairly reasonable guy. I've talked to our mayor.
Is he the guy? He ain't the guy that went up after you Monday, is he?
Yes, the one.
The older man.
Yeah, he had a stroke a few years back. All right, so he's slow to speak and slow to regain his thoughts, but they're still there, right? He hadn't lost any intelligence, so he knows what he's doing.
Darn, we can't send him up to be president.
Anybody that has ever suffered that tragic thing of having a stroke knows what I'm saying. You know.
No, I get it, but he's not on.
Right.
He's not ready to run for president like our current leader.
He might do better. You never know.
Well, no, we got to let him up a little bit before we send him up there.
I'm talking about the intelligence part. I'm pretty
sure.
No,
I understand. You said he's still got his mind.
Yeah. He's all still there, but he's slow to speak. So you got to allow him the time to speak. Christy Bland Simpson is your podcast every Sunday. Yes, it is. Every other Sunday it's Sunday night, and every other Sunday it's Sunday morning. So now that the city tried to say he could only have them in the city limits, which made no sense. He's always gotten them anytime he wanted them. And my thoughts were, it would probably do good for the two mayors just to sit down and talk, right? Outside the meetings and everything. And hopefully those two men, because I know from having talks with Bobby and having talks with our mayor, I know to me, Bobby's a more compromising, understanding guy than the city of Portland mayor is. But I don't know
Mike
Callis. But saying that, I don't know all the ins and outs of his meetings either. So that's just me speaking on the conversations I've had. But I still think that it would have done real good for them just to get in the room and just have a conversation over coffee or whatever and try to iron out stuff to bring to the council and the city and then fix it. All right. Then the city of Portland imposed $1,750, I think it's $1,750 or $1,500 new stormwater services. I don't know, but that was for everybody, not just Mitchell, but that's for the city. And then they imposed a new, I think it was $1,000 sewer line maintenance, and they were trying to throw that on Mitchellville. But Mitchellville services their own sewer lines. The city of Portland does not. So, the mayor and the citizens of Mitchellville, they were upset about that, which I would be too. So all that roundabout, and then I was told on Friday, they finally had a meeting. Portland City Mayor and the city attorney and the city of Mitchellville finally retained counsel, and they had a meeting and they made some progress. So let's hope they have, because it seemed like, and I'm from Portland and I love my city, it seemed like that our city was trying to screw the city of Mitchellville all the way around, because Drew Jennings, bringing his name up, that's the sitting on the council as vice mayor and loan officer at Farmers Bank, had houses and projects going on out there in Mitchellville that he was getting taps for, but they wanted to regulate who.
Come on now, stop
in Mitchellville
with
gets
the
tapped.
conspiracy stuff. Spoon.
I'm just telling you
there's
what I
no
know.
conflict of interest.
Go back
here.
and watch the meetings. Go talk to the mayor of Mitchellville. Go talk to Mayor of Portland. You do all your due diligence. I'm just telling you.
I understand,
what I know.
but there's no. You what are you talking about? You know what? To insinuate that a man that's a loan officer at a bank is using his status as vice mayor to push taps into a town that's not even in the same town. How could you just bring those together and say that there's some corruption? Hey, Drew Jennings, there you go, right there, buddy. You know what's going on.
Oh, yes, I know exactly what's going on, but let
Where
the people
there's smoke,
figure that out
there's
for
fire.
themselves. Exactly.
Yeah, well, like I said, you just said it. Hey, if Mitchellville's getting taps and some of them are going to some development projects for some loan officer at a bank who's sitting on a city council and using the city water to push pipe.
Point,
no, you're not getting water over your place, are you, Spoon?
Am I what? I don't get sewer.
Oh, okay. You don't get sewer.
No, I don't get sewer.
You think? I wonder if Drew Jennings is getting sewer out there.
Well, yeah, that's what we're talking about here. Sewer.
Oh, they've already got water.
They got water. We're talking about the sewer.
Oh.
No, but they're way outside in another town, not even in the city of our city, and they have sewer. But I live like pretty much directly in the center of town, and I don't have sewer.
You're about 7 miles closer to the city center as they are, but they're getting the sewer, not you.
Well, if you drew a straight line from where the sewer system is, I'm probably, I don't know, 2 miles maybe. I don't even know if it's that.
Well, no, I mean, I'm saying Mitchellville is probably 6 or 7 miles north.
Northeast.
Northeast.
But the point is here, in going on 23 years now,
there's no abuse of power going on, is what I'm saying.
They were allowed to get the taps that they wanted. There was no question whether the homes were in the city limits or outside the city limits, but still in Mitchellville's sewer line system that they paid for.
See, I had talked to my neighbor. I talked to my neighbor over here across the street, and I think about a quarter of a mile to the north is where the Portland gas line ends.
Yeah.
And we were talking about that a couple of weeks back, and he said, yeah, it sure would have been nice if they'd have come and turned south. I mean, of course we're outside the city limits, but they're still well outside of the city limits, a quarter mile up the road there.
How far? Yeah. Why don't you go request them to annex further out? Now
I don't want to be
Drive.
annexed. Oh, no.
Well, I'm just saying, out at Ball and Drive, they pretty much annexed all the way.
Why do they want that? Look, we had talked about that this morning.
Why do they want it? Well, that's a whole different podcast. That's a whole different podcast. I'm not going to touch on that.
No, I get it. They want everybody around here to have jobs. They don't want to have a place to go spend their money, which is the hypocrisy of this town. But anyway, let's shift gears. What do you want to talk about, Red? You had a good week, apparently. Or a good weekend, I guess. Did you have a good week?
Right. Yes.
So what did you do?
Yes,
Let's shift gears over to Red. Let Red talk for a minute. We just
Who
Red.
are you talking about? Oh, okay. What's up, Red?
Only 3 people on here, douche. Golly.
Oh my God.
No, well, I was at the gun show this weekend. I actually had two tables. And put a bunch of my stuff on there. Mainly, I just had a few guns. A lot of the stuff was just stuff that I had purchased over the years, or from different builds or customizations. Ended up with extra stuff, and was just trying to get rid of it. Honestly, in order to, I guess, streamline my overall signature in this world, since no longer have somebody to give my possessions to. So might as well live like I have nobody to give my shit to and enjoy my money now.
So are you doing the Appalachian Trail or the Rocky Mountain Trail when you get everything sold down?
I would love to do the Continental Divide
Pacific
Trail.
Rim? Oh, okay.
Pacific Rim would be nice, but you got to go through California for so much of it, and yeah. I'd rather go through a few freedom loving
Better
states.
sit at the dentist and have some teeth pulled.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, you still have some of your constitutional guns, don't you?
Oh yes, yes. I actually did sell one of them. I sold one of my constitutional guns, but it was a Rossi. It was a Rossi rather than the Harrington and Richardson stuff. Harrington Richardson stuff just has inherently more value. I sold. Actually, I did not sell the gun. I actually traded a guy for a G2C in 40 S&W, and he gave me the G2C, which he had only shot with one round, and believe me, the gun looked like it was very clean. And so he actually gave me $40 in cash and a G2C in the case with both mags. And of course, according to our friends over at the ATF and private sale, I had to sit on it overnight and pretend I went to the gun range and shot it, and then just didn't like it. And so then today I actually
so you got some ammo with it or no?
Huh?
Oh, you sold the G2C?
Yeah, today.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
I was like,
yeah,
40. I didn't think you had no ammo for it. Don't we?
No, the most I had was 13 rounds of ammunition. I had 13 rounds of ammunition for it, and I actually had those on the table for sale too. And since the guy really didn't beat me that hard, beat me down that hard for it, I said, here, go ahead and have some ammunition for it. I just gave it to him complimentary and stuff. So it had
I've seen you showing off your solvent stuff. So
well, yeah, when I clean my rifles, I got to be able to catch those dirty little rags.
You 5 people's daddies, but not mine. I got to do it from the right side for you, Spoon. Oh boy, but no, like I said, I haven't been on Facebook this weekend at all. Honestly, yesterday we put that auger together, and I mean we did some work yesterday, but then today it's been just drilling holes for orchards and raspberries and all kinds of stuff.
Drilling holes. That sounds like
drill,
a rap song from the 80s and 90s. Drilling holes.
I'm sorry. I go.
Well, what he was doing was drilling a hole and filling it with wood.
Yeah, no. Here in Tennessee, we go white man style, not out there and like the Indians and the Africans out there, going deep for the oil. We just go for a foot or two, just to make a little spot for the roots to grow.
How dare you talk about my ancestors that way?
Your ancestors. Well, if you didn't get their weighing, apparently, Mister, talk talk about how small it is. You know,
Christy Bland Simpson want to know that he heard $2 or $3 million is being spent on a neighborhood to fix drainage issues. Do I know anything about that? I know we've had drainage issues in this town and a bunch of different places for a long time. And I hope you're right that they're going to get fixed. And I don't doubt they're going to spend money on it. But do I have faith that they're going to get fixed the right way? No, I don't. Do I hope they do? Yes, I do.
I don't remember the exact weekend I moved here, but it's easy enough to look up because it was the weekend that the Grand Ole Opry flooded.
2010?
Yeah, it was in 10 when the Grand Ole Opry flooded and the riverbanks
Great
just
flood of
busted.
210.
Yeah. That was the weekend I moved up here. Because I left to go back to Florida to get the semi truck where I left.
So you're the great curse of the flood of 2000.
I brought it, I brought the water, with the drainage ditches and everything else. Sorry, apologize.
Here come Puddin going, ha ha, you bastards! I love to be wet.
Yeah, I used to drive around. Hey, I drove around in hurricanes. I'm sure you did it too, Red, didn't you? You went out, yeah.
Yep.
Hurricanes were us Floridians. Hurricanes would be coming through, and we'd go for a Sunday night stroll.
I drove through a few tornadoes in my time.
I've drove beside tornadoes.
Well, the good thing with that is being from Florida, we've driven through tornadoes and hurricanes, tropical storms, tropical depressions. We've done it all.
I always wanted a shirt, for the true Floridians, that had like the hurricane flag, and it said, sends Yankees back north or something.
Sending Yankees north.
Sending Yankees north, since who was it that ran ashore in St. Augustine? Was that which Spaniard was that?
I know Ponce de Leon didn't run ashore.
Ponce de Leon was looking for the Fountain of Youth in the Panhandle. Oh God!
He came to St. Augustine. He came to St. Augustine. Yes, because you have De Leon Springs. You have De Leon Springs outside the land.
I'm trying to remember the.
Honey, you figured out where you want to eat yet? No, I didn't think
Cortez. So. Cortez was the one that went in at Fort Myers.
Yucatan Peninsula. Well, he conquered Mexico. Cortez.
Hey! What are we getting off topic with this Florida Spaniard shit? We don't want to hear that crap.
Well, we was talking about the floods and the drainage ditches. You don't remember that? I'm like 5 beers in, and I remember that. Come on,
what 2010? Do I remember 2010? Yes, I remember that.
Ooh, you know what? Oh yeah! Holy shit! That's what it looks like from the inside out.
Oh.
No, 2 out of the 3 here are Floridians. Former Floridians.
I like that better. Put y'all's little Florida asses over there. You like this one better? Trey, Puddin watch.
No. I'm looking up history. Come on now. History's my thing.
Cortez went on the Fort Myers side. It was Ponce de Leon that went into the Atlantic side.
It was a lot older than that. It was the Spanish massacre of the French in 1565.
Well, yeah, but that was Ponce de Leon that was after St. Augustine was already established as the first city when they went and massacred the French Huguenots up on the what's the river that flows, the St. John's River.
Let's talk about the Vikings who discovered America, and let's talk about the pirates who. Does anybody know who the one and only true pirates of the world was? That was the British Navy.
Oh, right. Well, Well, actually, the privateers was what they were called before they actually became outlawed, and then they called them pirates. Were actually employed by England
Yeah.
and Portugal and France. So yeah, there you go. You're in the dark. You missed it.
I want to be hidden from you, you scum of the earth.
Okay.
Hey, I'm
Let the
having a
light
threading.
shine through.
I'm having a threading issue with my outer ring, with my
Well,
adapter.
some people don't realize. I mean, see, St. Augustine, it was 1565. I'm trying to find the captain's name. Pedro
When it was,
Menendez claims Florida for Spain. That was no. But no, the last place on the lower 48 that was handed over to the U.S. government was St. Augustine in the lower 48. It was after the Spanish-American War of 1890. That was the Spanish still controlled St. Augustine. It was a Spanish city in the 1890s.
Red, me and Puddin's talked about this many times about the growth of our country. You know, our forefathers, you know, they wanted us to continue to grow, but we come to an abrupt halt. And you got places like Puerto Rico and other small islands that would love to be a part of this country, and yet, even though they kind of are, they aren't. And I just don't understand for the life of me why. You know, I guess the R and the D that controls everything doesn't want that to continue to happen.
well, the thing is I believe that they would say that the majority of the Puerto Ricans would vote Democrat, so the Republicans, of course, vote no for it, because then it would be an imbalance in the House and also in the Senate.
You don't.
They're not going to add one state without adding two. So what would be the second state that we would add?
Well, you got the Virgin Islands, you got Puerto Rico, you have
Guam.
You could add Cuba to that and kick out whatever dictators there is.
You would have to get. I've talked about it along the lines that I just don't feel like the U.S. was ever. When you're out of your, hey, pour another $1 in your cup. Come on now.
I can't.
You can't. What? You finish your second bottle?
Yeah, I got a third bottle, but it's way. I'd have to leave you for a while, and we're about done anyway. So
you'd have to remember your court cases. But no, I mean, I've always figured that the country was never meant to stop growing. If people wanted in, to just be inclusive and let them in. You know.
So you're for open borders, right?
What is a border?
Eric, you heard him. He said, "Let them in, open borders." I'm just messing with you.
Let it know.
That is actually part of the libertarian platform.
Do you think if our border started moving south or north because the people started voting to let America to be part of the Union, do you think that they would want to come here or they'd want to stay there? They'd get our rights.
Oh,
they'd get all the rights of the Constitution. They'd stay where they're at, exactly. They'd be happy to go home. Because now they've got, some protection or some, some form of, civility.
I didn't say I agreed or disagreed with you. I was just messing with you.
No, it's not even that. It's what civility are we talking about? The 2020 Summer of Love, I mean, we had some real civility there, didn't we? But, no, like I said, people who know their history, just nobody wants to learn it anymore. Nobody cares. I care. I learn. I try to learn.
Let's see. Let me see.
I think a few weeks ago, I was looking for the word as to what you called government class, and it was civics. When we were in high school, we had civics, and then you had, of course.
Shh! Don't tell nobody. I didn't make it to high school. I got dropped out.
No. You did too. You did too. Go to high school. You graduated from the School of Hard Knocks. It was Hard Knocks High. That's one you went to, buddy.
I went to GED and they said,
did
brush
you
up
not,
on your fractions and
you
you'll
saying
pass.
you didn't graduate high school?
I went to GED.
Who?
Good enough.
I muted him. We can no longer have him talking on this podcast. You uneducated bastard.
Bitch.
I'm just messing with you.
He's so muted. He's so muted. But no, Trey didn't go to high school. He didn't even go to high school. You didn't go to high school, right?
No.
You dropped out in middle school, right?
Yeah.
Well, you talk about. I posted something earlier about in this age of information.
I went to GED, and going through GED, they told me all I needed to learn was fractions, and I passed. And I was like, I don't know. I did it for a couple months. And
I posted in this age of information, ignorance is the choice. So nobody wants to do their research. Nobody wants the truth. They just choose ignorance. And I say most people.
Trey might not have gone to high school or as far as that goes, but honestly, I think Trey can be, when he's interested in something, he's the most researched person I know. And as far as numbers are concerned, I think he is his Rain Man, essentially. He's Dennis Hoffman and the Rain Man.
Oh man! So you're gonna make his head blow up.
No, maybe
our screen's not big enough.
I gotta watch.
Well,
hey, I'll be back.
Well, the thing of it is that's one of the things. I'm not saying everything that Trey wants to discuss is necessarily interesting, but there are times where I have learned things from Trey that I was, the economist. I don't know if y'all got into that last week, but that economist that was talking about this stuff. That to me, honestly, is one of the most, I hate to say it, essentially a boring subject for me. But because Trey was actually interested in it, read something about it, and then we were talking about it, it was like, because he does have the ability to speak in a layman's terms, it actually was like, holy cow, I never would have known anything about, making the bank be the holder of the lien, therefore in turn collecting the quote unquote taxes, which was the interest. I mean, that was from Trey. It was from Trey. What, he didn't graduate from high school.
Well, he got it from somebody else. Now let's not give him full credit.
No, I got it from.
No, it might not have his idea, but he at least had the ability to read it. He had the ability to read it and to understand it, and then to endorse it.
Look,
I know. I'm just giving.
The guy's name was Fareed Kavari, and if y'all want to, he's on Wikipedia. You could go look at him.
Yeah, he's from Iran.
My mom, He's
from Iran,
South Florida. Well, he was from Iran. He got a master's in economics.
Well, he was from Iran before the Ayatollah and the 1979 hostage situation and all that.
Yeah, no,
he had already immigrated. He had already immigrated before that happened.
Germany,
he was already here. Germany. That's right.
Yeah, but he's been over here. He's been a citizen over here for what?
He's been over here a long time. Yes. No. Yeah. My mom. All I said about that was my mom was reading his platform, and as soon as she spit it out to me about to have the state be the bank, the State Bank of Florida, and that the state would issue loans to mortgages, and then they would use the interest from the loan in lieu of the taxes, I was like, that's an amazing idea. That would double, triple their revenues. And I was like, wow, that's a great idea. We need to get on this. And of course, driving a truck, Mr. Spoon, if you're sitting around thinking, you think about that and you're like, God, that's an amazing idea. We need that. Every state needs that. Why do the bankers need to be collecting their 4% and 5%? Let the states get that.
Not only just on that subject, each state needs the federal government out of a lot of things. Not only just that, in their schooling,
that's the libertarian mindset.
In their health coverage, a lot of choices.
And by the way, for the folks that want to say, hey, he's from Iran or something like that, he's not a Muslim though either. He is not a Muslim. He's a
Red.
But I don't care what religion he is. This country was founded on freedom. He has the freedom to whatever religion he chooses.
That's what his religion is.
I don't know what that is.
That's what his religion is.
But
I don't know what it is
freedom.
either. I never knew it before either. But everybody's knee-jerk reaction is go, oh, well, he's from Iran, so he must be Muslim. Oh, we can't have that. He's the boogeyman. Ooh,
Everyone
but
wants to be
honestly,
religionist and stick to their own clique. It's like, oh, well, if you're not Southern Baptist, I don't want to do with it.
Well, we have different. We have different here.
religious.
I'm Christian. Puddin, you're what?
Agnostic.
Agnostic. Red, you're what?
same.
You're saying you're agnostic?
Yes.
Okay.
I was raised
and then we
Baptist.
put him on here. You would have 3 different religions, and we would all get along just fine, and we would all have good conversation, and we would all learn from each other, which we've learned from each other, right? We hadn't always got along, but we've learned from each other.
You learn more the more you step outside of your comfort zone. Unfortunately,
Open your mind, listen, because you got 2 ears, 1 mouth.
Red was raised Jehovah's Witness, and I was raised Baptist, and I moved over to agnostic pretty quick in my early 20s. And me and Red talked. And you didn't call yourself agnostic. We knew each other.
So Red, your people, Jehovah's Witness, y'all are the one on the doors every Saturday mornings. We're trying to sleep in.
Yeah, brother.
Miss those people now. You miss those people now. I'm sure you miss Mormons.
We still have Jehovah's Witnesses.
Hey, I tell you what, when I knocked on those doors, that was the only reason why I got to watch Saturday morning cartoons. Was because Saturday morning cartoons are usually on in the background, and I would just hope like hell the person at the door wanted to talk. I could watch their children's Saturday morning cartoons because it was like I had to be out there. Yes, it was not. We didn't have TV until 1982. We didn't have a TV until 1982. I was 12.
That's how I could tell we were in totally different generations, because my children, who are teenagers, most of them,
they have no idea what Saturday morning cartoons are.
They will sleep till 1 or 2 in the afternoon. When we were kids, 6 a.m., we were up in front of the TV watching Saturday morning cartoons, eating our cereal or Pop-Tarts or whatever. They have no clue of what that is.
That was
let me play Xbox till 3 or 4 in the morning and sleep till 1 or 2 in the afternoon. Don't give me no shit. You stand over and do that.
I needed a beer. Sorry.
My mother knocking on your door gave me the opportunity to watch Superman and the Magnificent Seven.
Tom and Jerry. What do you want to know?
You gotta go back a little
Wonder 10 powers unite. That's the only reason why I knew what that was because we were knocking on your door on Saturday morning. And somebody wanted to debate with my mother whether or not the Jehovah's Witnesses had the right God or not. Keep talking about it. Keep talking about it. Hanna-Barbera's on.
It's crazy. I mean, look, again, sometimes we raise and we change. The guy over there, he's still, he listens to other people's opinions, but still runs in there all, Christian and Bible thumpy, instead of realizing that. I'm talking to you.
I said,
you run in there. Did you watch his Monday thing?
No, quiet. I said we as Christians. I didn't say all of us. I said we as Christians.
Last Sunday, I celebrated the spring.
I celebrated. I didn't say all of us celebrated.
The time of planting has begun. That's what I celebrate.
You agnostic? You agnostic? You can celebrate whatever you want, or don't celebrate whatever you want.
I'm just looking at what the pagans said. The pagans said after the spring equinox, there's more daylight than there is nighttime. Well, that's a fact. I can see it. It's right there.
Well, it has nothing to do with us changing time either, does it?
I don't know.
It's about
has nothing to do with changing the clock.
Spring forward.
I hate that.
Spring forward.
I hate that. Only in America can you tell someone that we're going to move these little digital things and you're going to have more of something. Only in America can you pass that off to this dumb population. We're going to move these
I
little.
enjoy it.
I hate it. I can't stand it. I think it's the stupidest thing in the world. I wish we could just get somewhere in the middle. It just stay there. You know,
So
just go
move
30
your
minutes
clocks.
back.
Move your clocks
No,
back
it's 30
30
minutes.
minutes and stay.
Move back 30 minutes and let's not move anymore. The sun's the one moving us, not the clocks. You know.
See, I wish we could have
foolish
24 hours of
Americans.
darkness.
24 hours of darkness.
Move Antarctica.
I wish summertime was 24 hours of darkness. Wintertime was 24 hours of daytime.
Hey, Spoon. Let me ask you a question.
But
You start out at a place and you 1 mile south, and you walk 1 mile west, and you walk 1 mile north. Where are you?
if I start out at a place,
And you start out and you walk 1 mile south,
all
1
right,
mile west, 1 mile north, and you're back where you started. Where are
it's not possible.
you? It is possible. You got it,
Because
Red?
if you were at a
You
place,
start
and
out
went,
at a spot.
you went 1 mile south,
You walk 1 mile south,
yeah,
then
then you
1
walk
mile
1
west,
mile west and
then
1 mile north.
and
You would
you're
still
back
be
where you
1
started.
mile north. You would still be 1 mile east of where you started, unless you're draw.
Have you figured it out, Red?
You didn't say a straight line. So if we're doing a
1 mile
diagonal.
south, 1 mile
All right.
west, 1 mile north.
Well, if you're going a straight line,
And you're going to
not
be
in the same
back where
place.
you started. No, you'll be right back where you started.
What
What-
place? You saying what place would I be?
I guess you just drew
What
the line
place
on
would
paper.
you be? No,
I guess you just drew the line on paper and
North
you just stood
Pole.
where you said.
What? North Pole. Red got it.
Oh, okay.
Red for mayor.
Come on, Santa Claus. You know Santa Claus. Oh wait a minute, I didn't believe in that growing up either.
Shh, there might be kids watching.
I was deprived of presents.
You were.
Yes, we did not celebrate.
That's not a way to live. Do I still have
my
Puddin?
birth?
It says I still have
Celebrate my
Puddin
birthday.
muted, but I hear him. Puddin, are you talking?
No, he's
I
on.
screwed up.
It's
I hit mine.
on on this side.
Oh, okay.
I'm
He
on.
hit it. Never mind. He hit it.
I gave you your brain buzz. Yeah. Oh boy.
All right. Do we want to go ahead and end it, or
Yeah, I'm ready to have a. You know what? I texted you that earlier, ass.
time for a smoke and not a left-handed cigarette?
maybe.
We're gonna have the legal cigarettes.
Yes, we're gonna have the legal cigarettes that after 8 or 10 hours give you a nice little buzz.
Oh my goodness.
What they
Sometimes-
do?
Sometimes if you've slept for a little while and you get up and you're not fully awake and you hit that cigarette really, really hard, and after a few times, and you're like, whoa, I need to sit down.
That's why you put a chair on your porch.
All right, guys. I've enjoyed this episode. I hope Puddin' and Red you have too.
Yeah, it's been fun.
I got open record requests in. I got more I'm going to put in. So hopefully we get information we need to have more information for you local people. What is she talking about?
I don't know. She keeps saying my name. But, hey, there you go.
Ooh.
Show
Well,
us
she
your
tried.
boobs.
She tried to hide it behind. She's trying to hide it behind that big head. Hey!
No, that Barry, that show on HBO is in 15 minutes they air the new episode for the third season.
Oh, you got to get off so you can watch. I mean,
That's what she knows. That's what she
some
texted
people
me. She
have a
said 15 minutes I'm
DVR. You
watching
record
Barry.
it. Oh, you don't. Y'all are too cheap to have a DVR. I'm sorry.
I am modern. I have apps and everything is on demand pretty much.
Okay.
Have you watched? I'm in the middle of the new Netflix, the Better Call Saul.
No,
Yeah,
I'm
the,
watching. I'm watching.
The one on Netflix.
I'm rewatching GOT right now.
GOT. Oh,
Game of Thrones, bitch.
no.
For like
No,
the
but
fifth
what's the
time.
difference between a DVR and an app? Just play. You know, kind of the same thing.
Oh,
But all
nothing.
right.
All right, guys, we're out of here. We'll see you next Sunday morning. This is the Big Spoon. Puddin' and Red. Say bye, everybody. Say bye.
Bye.
Hey, get off my man.
All right, bye everybody. Sorry. She come over and she unplugged the mic again.
I did not.
I don't know what's happened here.
Yeah, you still got us live, buddy.
I can't find the
You find the off button.
I can't find how to stop the live stream. Where did it go?
I have to edit this part out.
I'm not gonna edit it out. Leave it on, damn it. What the hell? I guess I'm just gonna have to
Hit the leave studio.
yeah, let's hit leave studio. Maybe that'll kill it.
Yes, sir.
Later.